Welcome to preface. F123 is already out, blah blah blah. I need to finish F122 final season, blah blah blah. This is Singapore. Here we go for qualifying. Straight 15 minutes. Let's go. Qualifying for the Singapore Grand Prix began with Q1. Max took a provisional pole, purple sector 1. I had purple sector 3, and Lewis had purple sector 2. I was P2 by 11 milliseconds to Max in P1. Charles was down in 4th, Lewis in P6, and Alonso in 8th. The others we don't need to worry about because they can't win the drivers anymore. They could win the constructors with their teams, but apart from Ocon, but we won't care about them. So, how did it look after the session? Well, Max improved a slight bit. We dropped to P8, Lewis P2, Charles P4, Perez P6, Sainz P9, and Alonso P10. So, not really anything to worry about. Got through nice and easily. Half a second. So we moved to Q2 where we were P5 to begin with, 5 tenths to Lewis in P1 this time. Lewis with the purple sector 3, Sainz in P2 with the purple sector 1, and Max with purple sector 2. No one else in the top 10 except for Fernando in P9. And we dropped to P8 at the end of the session. Lewis stayed to P1, Sainz in P2, Max in P3. Charles put himself into P6 with Perez in P5. Alonso got knocked out at the expense of his teammate. No, Ocon got through at the expense of his teammate. Alonso down and out in P11 by 0.08 of a second. Not the best. Well done, Ocon. So, quali 3 began with Valtteri taking the provisional pole position. No purple sectors. They went to Hamilton, Sainz, and Verstappen in that order. However, they were reversed for the leaderboard with Max P2 and Lewis P4. I was down and out in P9, 8 tenths away from Valtteri in pole, 5 tenths away from Lewis, Perez in 5th, Charles in 7th. But to end the session, I came out with a stormer. 1.5 seconds improvement, and you're looking here at the GOAT. P1 by 7 tenths to Valtteri. No one else improved change lap times. So Max P3, Sainz P4, Hamilton P5, Charles P6, Perez P7. On the GOAT. So here is that lap in full. Come across the line to start our pole lap. Into turn 1, brake in 100 meters, hit the curb, and at every apex, miss it at turn 3, and we are already up by 1.5, closer to 2 tenths. Through to turn 4, going a little bit wide on entry, missing the apex on the middle, and going to the wall on exit. Heading towards the end of sector 1, we are 2.5 tenths up. Into turn 5, missing the apex a little bit, going over the curb a little bit on the exit. Into turn 6, don't really want to hit the curb, just tap it a little bit. Into turn 7, left-hander brake down to 3rd gear, a little bit wide on the middle. Down into the old Singapore sling, hit the curb on the entry, keep the speed through, over the curb, stay in 2nd gear, don't go too wide on like I just did at both of those corners. Down into the hairpin, into 1st gear, don't hit the wall on the apex. Out, up, through the gears, and we are 4 tenths up onto the final DRS straight. Down into sector 3, braking 100 meters, hit the apex. Didn't quite do that this time. Go a little bit wide through the corner and down into the twisty part of the lap. Miss the apex there and there, going a little bit wide everywhere, but we're still gaining time. 9 tenths it looks like. Hit the apex curb, done it this time. Can we do it again? Yes we do. Over the curb, down into the final chicane. Got it on both attempts. Into the final corner, just going to lift off a little bit, down into 6th, go into 5th gear, across the line. 1.5 seconds improvement. Happened almost over a month ago and I'm still shocked.
So here we are, after a breathtaking qualifying yesterday, the cars are taking their final positions on the grid today. It's time now for the Singapore Grand Prix. It's a 3.1 mile lap here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit, with 47% taken at full throttle. It's hot, humid and bumpy around the 13 lefts and 10 rights of mostly slow corners. But we should see speeds of up to 200 miles per hour along the Raffles Boulevard. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Sainz, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Leclerc, Perez, Norris, Vettel and Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Alex Albon and Magnussen, Joe, Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher and Daniel Ricciardo, Stroll and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, so I was a bit lazy and I wasn't focused. I didn't shorten this clip yet. It is 10 o'clock now, so yeah, context, even though it's not needed. So I'm probably going to be talking during the beginning of the highlights, because I haven't shortened this clip yet, or any of the others. So change strat, medium, soft. Also can't see the colours, so that's good. Medium, soft, 24, 24, 13. How about we change that to a medium hard, give it a 1 stop. Nothing quicker than the 3 stop that was original. So we're gonna ditch that, or 15 seconds slower. Dump the fuel, go to about 60.3, 6.29 maybe. No, we're gonna leave it. I can't remember how the fuel was.
Right, this is going to take a while to sync up.
There we go, that's set up. Let's go straight into the
Welcome
race.
to the Singapore Grand Prix, my
worst
circuit. Haven't even had the best of luck around here either. Much slower around here than Monaco. Okay, not much slower, but slower around here than I am at Monaco versus the AI. But we put it on pole. And that's not what we didn't do that at Monaco. So let's see if we can go on to win the race. No rain is forecasted, and it looks like it's going to be a simple 2-stop strat, medium, soft. Let's see what the AI do, and it looks like they're going to be on the same strat. They're starting mediums. So let's get into the longest race of the season. Let's see if the highlights showcase that. The 5 red lights are out and we get a little bit of a poor start, not as much wheel spin, just a slow acceleration. Bottas gets this into turn 1. Verstappen not quite, but in the brake zone, like I did at France, he pulls forwards and comes alongside me. Have to battle through turn 2 and turn 3. Heading towards turn 4, he's still alongside, but through the exit, we had enough speed that he backed out, and we maintained P2. Now we've just got to stay close to Valtteri, and once we get DRS, we can easily overtake him. So on board with Max, you can see Valtteri on the left, me in front, and obviously Max right here. Bottas gets the best start of anyone. Max gets pretty similar to me. I defended the outside, but no, I blocked the outside, not defended the outside. Invited Max to the inside, and he kind of just used that to his advantage. Wasn't really there, but made himself there, and then I made him go away as he pulled out of turn 4 and just let me have P2. So, not bad of a first lap, if you ask me. Where am I going? Lap 2. Trying to find the right angle, camera angle. Nothing doing. However, onto lap 3, we got DRS, and into turn 1, Valtteri locked up. I said thank you very much. Went through, took P1, and that was that. He's now closer to Max than he is me, so I'll have to worry about Max instead of trying to re-overtake me. And we're naturally quicker anyway. Whether we are going to pull away outside of the DRS, I'm not sure. At the time I was thinking, oh, what if I give him DRS, make sure that Max doesn't overtake him. I don't think that was going to affect anything too much. It is quite hard to overtake around here, so, and then with Max's big pace difference against Valtteri, it's not like it's not going to happen. It is going to happen at some point, so might as well use that time to create a large gap against Max. So, on board with Valtteri, you can see I close in, but not much. I wonder if that scared him. Do cut a little bit across, however it was fine, no contact, and we were ahead. Personally, I would have liked to be a little bit more ahead before I did that, but I did it, got away with it, no problems whatsoever. However, we did have a problem lap 3 because we got a track limit warning. I should have said later this lap, not lap 3, because it is still lap 3. That just confuses everyone. I think I know where it is. Final corner. Extended it, I think. Yeah. I'm trying not to blame anything, but if I was to blame anything, I'd say that is for the lack of dirty air, and I didn't adjust correctly, and so I over adjusted, and so didn't turn in as much as I should have, and so that's why I went wide. Because dirty air, once it goes away, you turn less, obviously, because you have more grip. But I turned a little bit too less, and so I didn't have enough. I didn't turn in enough. Anyway, that's just a bunch of waffle. Who knows if that's actually true. Lap 13, we had a slow lap. Turn 1 probably didn't help. The only slow lap in this stint, as far as I'm aware. Oh yeah. Max had got Valtteri at this point. And into turn 4, 5, 6. We made a mistake, allowed Max to come alongside. But we had the inside and we kind of just blocked him. He almost had a look into Singapore sling round the outside, the old Singapore sling round the outside. Nothing doing, and he has to stay P2. I will let you know that we had an error on the previous lap as well. Much bigger than Max's little error. They kept doing that. They kept power sliding through that corner. Valtteri did it every lap I was behind him. It's what enabled me to be so close into turn 1. So yeah, 2 mistakes in the span of 2 laps. Almost lost the position because of it, but we're fine, and we stay P1. So next up is technically lap 16 as Max comes into the box, and we head on to lap 18, and I got a radio from Mark saying, box, we're going to change strategy, pit lap 18. I said sure, why not. Max was pitting lap 15, not 16. 15 on to 16. 3 laps later, Strat was to pit lap 24. Wasn't really affected anything. 6 laps. Might be a little bit dodgy towards the end of the stint. However, if we just we should be fine. We can just bring the soft stint a little bit closer. So anyway, we're gonna come into the box onto the medium tyres, 6 up earlier than planned. We'll have to see if it's gonna change anything too much. Come into the box locking up, do lose a bit of time, probably half a second, knowing me. On the box, purple turn in, medium tyres, poor release. I did release, it just didn't, the car didn't want to release, and so yeah, that was a bit annoying. 21 seconds to Max as we came into the box, and as we come out we are going to have about 5, 6, maybe 7 seconds to Max. And obviously that's just going to increase on this lap whilst we bring in the tyres. So 7 to 8 seconds to Max and 3 overtakes. So okay, obviously if looking back, we've pit now, not good, we've dropped a couple of positions. However, like if we waited another 6 laps, we could have lost more positions. So yeah, it's just what we decide to do, when we decide to do it. I think because new tyres are so powerful here, I don't think staying 6 laps would have worked. We probably would have dropped behind Perez, and that little train probably would have come out behind Norris. And so yeah, that wouldn't have been good. Anyway, on the back of the Hamilton now, trying to go around the outside of turn 4, 5, and heading into turn 6. We're on the inside, and we get up into P4. Nicely done. We are outside of DRS from Valtteri now, but we'll be able to close that in very quickly, and hopefully lap 24 we'll be back up onto the podium. I was just going to get this to the end of sector 2 before we go on to the onboard with Lewis. That and me, of course. So anyway, I think that's the end of sector 2. It's somewhere around there. You don't need the whole of sector 1 and 2, we're just going to show you that on board. So, yeah, DRS, we had plenty of ERS, used it all as soon as we got alongside, turned it off, a little bit cautious in turn 4, 5, didn't know where we could be, but we got the move done, and no contact whatsoever. A little bit hairy with the way Lewis moved. Did exactly what Charles and Max did last season. Not a surprise really. but we just went around the outside. Went really alongside into the brake zone, but pulled alongside. And because we're on the outside, it's not like we have to worry about being given space. We can just create it. And we got up into P4. Sorry, Hamilton's P5 now. Yeah, and we pulled along. We pulled ahead so that we didn't have to give Hamilton space for turn 6. So, without you now, are you going to look up into turn 1 once again? No, not this time. Should be an easy overtake down at the Raffles Boulevard. Thank you, Crofty, for giving me that one in the race intro. So, DRS, ERS straight away. And pull to the inside. A little kink. Almost a little bit of contact. And as we head into turn 4, we're ahead. Turn 5, we're ahead. Voucher comes back at us though. And make a little bit of contact. And I think, yes, there is a little bit of damage on the front wing of that Alfa Romeo. To be honest, I don't think I did anything wrong. I was ahead, but Voucher just did an Alex Gillen move and just dive bombed. Okay, sometimes I dive bomb as well, like that, but he just dive bombed. He made the apex, but he just went into me. If that makes any sense, and he gave himself the damage. I don't think there was much else I could do. We've got a track limit warning on this lap as well somewhere, so we'll have to have a look at that. Probably at the final corner again. So yeah, there we go. Towards the inside, he turned in as if we weren't there, almost, and then into turn 6. He just comes out of nowhere in front wing damage. And obviously comes in for it. I haven't seen Vouchers on board yet, so it could still be my fault. It was a very tight squeeze. He has to change direction because of it. Yeah, not alongside, and then comes back at us. He makes the apex. I think there's plenty of space between us when we're at the apex. It's just the line he takes. It looks like he's trying to hit the apex and go to the outside of the circuit. Okay, when we do make contact, it is a little bit tight. Different turning circles and that. But, like, as these... it's not even until, like, the last 10 meters where he actually pulls alongside. He's not even alongside till about here. At that point I can't really make adjustments. Look at the time between me making contact and now. 30.8. Okay, 2 seconds. Fair enough. About 1.2 seconds. But, like... there's not much I can do. I don't think there's anyone's fault there. Can you see it from Lewis? Yeah, it just looks normal from Lewis. I think it's just a bit unfortunate, really. I don't think any penalties deserved from either side. A little bit unfortunate that Voucher got damage, but it's kind of what happens when you're behind and then try and go in front in the last 10 meters of the corner, that brake zone. Anyway, track limit warning, second of the race. Hopefully we don't get a third one. And once again I'm blaming that on the fact of the lack of dirty air and the fact that I didn't account correctly. And I turned too little. I have no proof of whether that's true or not, but I like to think it is. What's up? What's after lap 24? Lap 27. Slow lap. What did we do? Might just be tyre wear. The next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slow laps. Definitely because of the tyre wear. Yeah, I think I just wore out the tyres a little bit. Didn't push as much. I don't think this one's tyre wear, I think I just didn't push as much. It's understandable. So anyway, lap 30 we had another slow lap. That won't have helped. One of these slow laps actually might be because of overtaking science. A little bit wide at turn 6, that won't have helped either. I think, and then again at turn 7. So yeah, going a bit wide. Not major mistakes. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 2 going wide. At the final corner. 6 mistakes. 30 laps. That's not bad. Much better than previous seasons actually, so we're making good progress. Lap 31. That was a really weird line. I think that slowed me down a lot on the straight, so that's what would have caused it. 7 mistakes. Yeah, it doesn't look like to be anything else. And I think he may be close to overtaking science. I think that might be why lap 36 was slow. Nope. Lap 34. See if we can get him on the Raffles Boulevard. 9 seconds to max, so we have lost a little bit of time to him. To be fair, I don't think we've lost time. I think science has. We've gained on science, and science is like, what, 3 seconds behind Max? Everyone's just kind of converged, whereas Max has just pulled apart. So, yeah, into turn 5, we're ahead. Does a Valtteri, no contact this time though. I will have you know. See, I think this one we were a little bit quicker. We were a lot closer. Look at the little antenna. Practically touching the car on the 2D version. So much closer than Valtteri was, and we had to almost back out a little bit because science did try and do a Valtteri. Not good science. That's how you cause damage. Just look at Valtteri. See, he kind of squeezes us again, along Valtteri. Not alongside until the last 10 meters. No contact though. That gave him a little bit more space. So yeah, very good. 3 successful overtakes, 1 successful overtake, but with contact. So not too bad. Lap 36, why were we slow? I keep going over turn 1 very awkwardly. You know, I think I'm just going to call 36 to 39 slow because of tyre wear. Lap 41 was also slow. I'm just saying tyre wear again. Been on these tyres 23 laps now. And we're only supposed to take them 24. Okay, so we are. So they should have lasted, but hey ho, a little bit of tyre wear. It's not gonna kill us. So people have started pitting by lap 45, and I decided, you know what, we're going 6 laps earlier on these tyres. To account for that, 6 laps extra. We'll go 4 on these mediums and then 2 laps extra on the softs. So instead of pitting lap 48, we're going to pit lap 46 onto the softs. And at the moment, we're going to come out third, just behind Lando. Lando's yet to box. We're going to come out ahead of Sainz, which will be good, and kind of maintain the gap to Max. And Max does need to pit. He's done medium. So at the moment, if Max doesn't pit, you can do the undercut. A little bit of a mistake there. You can do the undercut, and we'll gain back the 8 seconds that we lost at the beginning of the stint. Because judging from what Lewis and that did, they did hards, but I was told Max was doing 1 more stop instead of 2, unlike Sainz and that, so I don't know. Crossed off quite white line, I think. Anyway, we come into the box. No speeding. Are we going to get purple turning? Yes, we did. Nice stop. Revving the head out of the engine, make sure that we do get a good release, and we have. Going to come out into the fast lane, still P2. Are we going to come out into the race P2? Nope. Lando's going to overtake us. Going to have like 4 seconds to him, but it'll be fine. We'll catch him and overtake him within a couple of laps. Crossing the white line again a little bit. No penalty or warning though, so it's fine. 6 seconds to Lando. Never mind. I thought the pit lane was only like 25 seconds, but no, it's about 27. So, warming up the tyres, and as we end sector 1, we're going to go to sector 3 with Max. And why are we going on board with Max? Following Max? No reason at all. Except that his engine blew up, and heading into the most difficult part of sector 3, he's retired. Booyah! I will admit though, when I went past, I thought it was an Aston. I couldn't tell. I couldn't really tell. I thought it was an Aston Martin, to be honest. But no, it's Max, and we're P2 now. And obviously, because wheels moving about all the time, I didn't notice that I was P2 until I was quite close to, I think, like 48, 49. So, yeah. But anyway, 49. Yeah, I didn't realise we were P2 until lap 48, midway through. We're on board. We're on lap 49 now, closing into Lando, and now because of Max's retirement, thank you, we are going to overtake Lando for the lead of the race, and most likely to win at the Grand Prix. Lando is yet the box, so we don't have to worry if we do get a penalty. Sainz is over 3 seconds behind, so we can use that final warning if we need. No contact, round the outside, easily done. That's how you do it. 4 successful overtakes around the outside. 1 successful, but with contact. I just want to make sure that's correct. Hamilton, Sainz. That's not right. 3 successful. Because we didn't overtake Max now. We didn't overtake Max at all. So yeah, we overtook Sainz, Hamilton, Norris and Bottas in this race. No one else, I don't think. And no repeats. No contact. A little bit further alongside this time, but it's fine. Give him a little bit more space than we have the previous drivers. And we're in P1 with fastest lap and the race lead. And nothing can go wrong. Lap 50, Lando does not come into the box yet. Lap 50 we got a track limit warning, resulting in our penalty. And it's a kind of an awkward spot, I think. Ah, yes. Wasn't me. So yeah, we get a penalty. Slow lap as well. Although I do think... Well, lap 50 to 61 were all slow laps. I believe we kind of just pushed the tyres a little bit much. And after doing a 42.7 on lap 47, tyres kind of just didn't want to perform anymore. We're still quicker than everyone, hence the overtake on Lando, but if anyone was to pit for us, we would not be getting fastest lap. And that's exactly what people did. How did I time that? I didn't know what lap he pit. I swear to you, I do not know what lap he pit. Anyway, he came on soft, so did Lewis, so did Perez, so did Vettel. Charles did it on the next lap. So, yeah, we lost our fastest lap, basically. Lap 58. Got a fourth warning. But it's fine, we're 3 laps away from the end of the race. A little bit weird for Sainz, Hamilton, Perez, Vettel and Leclerc to box. Especially when they're on hard, medium hard strat. Like, they didn't have to worry about tyre rules or anything. So, I guess they all wanted fast lap. It's weird though, because I don't think that's the strat Max was trying to do, because I was told that he was, before he retired, there's the fourth warning, I was told before he retired that he had 1 stop left. Like me. So, in fact, it was going to be a little bit close about winning this race, but I was hoping the undercut would work perfectly. And it didn't matter, he retired from the race. I mean, that's what happens sometimes. We're going to retire at some point, depending on the retirement rate of the other drivers with Mercedes components. I do have to check that actually. I have no idea who has and hasn't retired yet. 16 races in, kind of need to sort that out, you know, because otherwise I'm just going to have to guess. It was a little easier last season because it was just me and Alonso with the Renault engines. However, you have Mercedes, Aston Martin, McLaren and Williams with Mercedes engines. So I've got to look at 7 drivers. But I don't have to look at any drivers for the moment, because we're going to come across the line to win the Grand Prix. Sainz did steal fastest lap from us. Vettel's been shafted. He's dropped down from 7th to 19th for no reason whatsoever. I've been told that he DNF'd. I don't know why. But we won the race. Longest race on the calendar. Did it in 1 hour 8 minutes. No, 108 minutes. 12 minutes away from 2 hours. So, yeah, very good race. The best race I've had at Singapore, I think, was at 59.2. We crashed out. 59.1. It was wet and we crashed out. 39 at Ferrari was spinning a lot. And Alfa Romeo, we actually had a spin. We won, but we had a spin. This race we didn't spin. Brilliant. Almost perfect race, to be honest. I think strategy could have shafted us. It didn't. We're fine. And yeah, we won the race. 25 points on Max. 130 points is the target gap. Lewis 7 points away. Max 57 points away. Still within the target gap. However, Max is 25 points closer to that. Instead of 57, he could have been... No, not 25. 18. Instead of 57, he could have been 75 away from that gap. So, yeah. Thank you, Max, for retiring and helping me get back to the championship. Got nothing else to say. Great race, and I'll see you in the race debrief, I guess. Let's go, Singapore! Alright, this is going to take a while to...
Here we are in the second clip, lap 54. I have no idea what I said about these two well, no, I said nothing about the second clip. I have no idea what I said about this first clip during the highlights, so I'm probably going to repeat myself, although it's quite obvious, so probably, yeah, I'm definitely going to repeat myself. On to lap 55, 6 laps to go after this one, and we're going to wait for a radio message from Mark right about now.
Okay, Lewis is in for his stop.
What? Why? They okay? Why are you pitting within the last 10 laps? Poor strategy choice. Unless it's the final lap. But it's not. So yeah, poor strategy choice on them. And then on to lap 61. Their strategy choice meant that I didn't get the fastest lap. However, it stayed at Mercedes. I am George. Lewis got it. So, I guess that's good. And yeah, we're just going to go on towards the final lap a little bit, just because I found a button press funny. So, we're trying to deplete the battery, so we had overtake on. In turn 8, the old Singapore sling, I decided to turn it off, and the way the in-game character turned it off, it just looked funny. Looked weird. Very aggressive. Very aggressive press of the button. It's like he bit down on it like it was a chew toy and a dog. I found it funny. You probably didn't. Welcome to the Monday morning race debrief of the Singapore Grand Prix. It was a very good one, with a fortunate retirement and a clean victory to the end. So without further ado, let's get straight into the race results. So, Bobbi, you finished P1 with Sainz in P2, Lewis in P3. And our main rivals, Charles finished down in P5 and Alonso finished in P10, with Max retiring from the race. Now and of course Lewis P3. Teammates of our rivals, well, Perez was in P5, Sainz in P2 and Ocon in P7, and of course we're Lewis's teammate. So, Lewis stole the fastest lap from us towards the end of the race. However, we got victory and Max retired from the race. So yeah, so a nice clean 25 points on Max in the championship. It could have been 26, but I don't think it was worth going again. It was only a couple of attempts in it, and plus you'd already used just a fresh off tyres. That's what you were on at the end, so we don't need to get the fast lap every time. 25 points, I don't think that 1 point is going to make a big difference come the end of the season, especially if you just keep on it and just keep putting out results like this. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue.
How does that affect the Drivers' Championship? Well, first off, we've got to have a look at Driver Championship permutation, combinations, stuff like that. So, we could stop 3 more drivers from winning the Drivers' Championship. These were Hamilton, Leclerc and Alonso. In order to do so, we had to beat Hamilton by 24 points or more, Alonso by 6 or more, and Leclerc by 7 or more. If you remember, they would have had to have been second or above to stop that. They weren't, and so they were out. Lewis, however, he did not retire. He was P3, and so there was not a 24 point gap. And so that continues to Japan at least. Verstappen could beat 3 people from winning the P2, Sainz by 19 points, Norris by 11 points, and Vettel by minus 25. Obviously, Max retired, so the only one that was correct that worked there was Vettel, because Vettel literally had to win. Hamilton could beat several drivers from winning P3. He had to beat Perez by 23 points or more, Stroll by 14 or more, Gasly by 3 or more, Bottas by 2 or more, Zhou by 2 or more, Schumacher by minus 4 or more, Zhou was minus 2, Magnussen by minus 10 or more, Albon by minus 10 or more, Tsunoda by minus 16 or more. Obviously, the ones that worked were all the minus ones. Bottas, Gasly, and Stroll. He was not able to beat Perez by 23 points or more, and so that continues to Japan at least as well. Now, I'm not done yet still. We have Leclerc final one. He could stop Latifi and Ricciardo from winning P4. All he had to do was beat them by minus 14 and minus 16 points respectively, which he was able to do. And so Latifi and Ricciardo can no longer finish 4th. So how does the championship actually look? Bobbi, you're P1 with Max P2, Lewis is in P3, and the rest of our rivals. Charles in P4, and to be honest, we only need Lewis and Max. We don't need to talk about Charles and Fernando. However, we'll talk about the people that can still win the constructors, and if you've been following along, you will know who they are. And so that is for Red Bull and Ferrari. So the Red Bull teammate Perez down in P10, and the Ferraris are P4 and P6. Leclerc heading Sainz. So no negative in the championship because we got 25 points on Max, and only Lewis and Max can still beat me. Yeah, the only negative really could be the points gap. But at this point, is it really worth mentioning that? It feels like I'm just trying to beat you down if I do. So, since we can knock Lewis from winning a championship next race, I will no longer bring the points gap up. So, speaking of Japan, what do we have to do? Well, we only have to beat Hamilton by minus 11 points to win P1 and make it so it's only you and Max. Max can stop several drivers from being P2, Sainz by 10 points or more, and Norris by minus 4 or more. Hamilton can stop 3 people from finishing 3rd. These are Vettel by minus 2 points or more, Ocon by minus 6 points or more, and Perez by minus 9 points or more. Fairly easy. Leclerc can stop several drivers from finishing P4. These include Stroll by minus 3 points or more, Bottas by minus 11 points or more, Gasly by minus 14 points or more, Zhou by minus 19 points or more, Schumacher by minus 21 points or more, Albon by minus 25 points or more, and that's it. Alonso can stop people from finishing 5th. These are Magnussen by minus 19 points or more, and Tsunoda by minus 25 points or more. Last but not least, Sainz can stop people from finishing P6. All he has to do is beat Latifi by minus 21 points or more, and beat Ricciardo by minus 23 points or more. From now on, as it is quite lengthy, almost all 20 drivers are involved. I will put them in some notes, and I'll hand them out to you for you to have a look at as we move on to the Constructors' Championship. So, how is the order? Well, Merc lead with Red Bull in P2 and Ferrari P3. Before, we had to beat Alpine by minus 5 points or more for them to stop winning. Very easy and done. Red Bull had to stop Alfa Romeo by beating them by 9 points or more, AlphaTauri by minus 4 points or more, Haas by minus 5, Williams by minus 32, and they were able to do all of that except the Alfa Romeo one, purely because of Bottas, I believe, getting some good points. So, there's no negative in the championship. Once again, Alpine cannot win, and Red Bull and Ferrari have to beat us in Japan to stay alive in the championship, which brings me perfectly on to the afterwards. Mercedes have to beat Red Bull by more than minus 3 points or more, and Ferrari by minus 9 points or more to win the Constructors' Championship next time out in Japan. That is amazing. Well done to you, Bobbi, and to Lewis for being such great drivers for the team, getting us so many points, and so much so that we can win the championship with 4 races to go, plus a sprint. Just incredible. Red Bull can stop a couple teams from finishing P2, McLaren by 9 points or more, Aston Martin by 8 points or more, and Alfa Romeo by minus 42 points or more. That one seems like a done deal. Alpine can stop people from finishing P4. They have to beat AlphaTauri by 21 points or more, Haas by 20 points or more, and Williams by minus 5 points or more. The reason Ferrari have none is because they are so close to Red Bull that the people Red Bull have to beat, it's pretty much the same for Ferrari. So, the race lap graph, how did it look? Very good stint for the first one. However, there was a little bit of there was one yellow. The second stint was alright, a few more yellows, and the third stint pretty much completely yellow. So we did not look after the softs at the end. Yeah, we kind of just pushed them to hell. However, the slow laps in stint 2 were not slow, and stint 1 was close to a flat line. What I mean by the second point is they were slow. Yes, they were below the target, but they weren't so far below the target. They were just above, so much so that if you look at one of the yellows, sometimes it's very close to a green that was next to it, which is really good. Well done. Stint 1, yep, very close to a flat line. Lap 13, can't remember what you did, but it was a slow lap, caused the first yellow of the race. And then the final stint, yeah, look after your tyres a bit more next time. We know it's the end of the race and you had quite a lengthy gap to the people behind you. However, it only takes one mistake to heat up the tyres and spin several times. Surely you know that by now. So yeah, just be careful when you got softs like that. Don't overly push them too hard in the first part of the stint. So last but not least, the Singapore Grand Prix in 8 images. Bobbi, you sent in track limits and the end of the quali lap. Mark, you sent in the overtake on Bottas and Max's retirement. Toto, you sent in qualifying 3 result and the race result. And Rosie, you sent in the second pit stop and the race result. So, without further ado, let's get straight into your explanations, Bobby. So, we got a penalty for track limits, and we gained 1.5 seconds to get pole. Yeah, at least you didn't use the track limits in quali. That would have been horrendous, especially since you were 1.5 up. If you had got the track limits, would you have continued with that? We probably would have advised against, and you probably would have got angry and come in anyway. Yeah, track limits, at least they're in the race. It wasn't that many, it was only a penalty and I think one other warning, so it's not that bad. However, Singapore is quite a tricky circuit to corner cut, so the fact that you managed to get a penalty is quite unbelievable if you ask me. So yeah, just keep that in mind for next time. And then, yeah, 1.5 seconds to pole. Really well done. Absolutely amazing. One lap wonder, pretty much. You did give us a scare by being P10 before that. Please don't do that again. We don't need that. We don't need a Lewis masterclass from 2018. We just need a simple pole. So, Mark, your two images came with the subtitle text of there was contact with Bottas in the overtake and Max retired from the race while we won. So yeah, there was contact overtaking Valtteri on lap 24. Was the contact our fault? I don't think so. It's a little bit hit and miss really. But we got away with it, no penalty whatsoever, and it wouldn't affected us anyway. And it weren't like it was a heavy hit, it was just like a small bit of contact, so chances are that most people think it's a racing incident and that there is no one deserving of a penalty. Unfortunately, the only person to receive a penalty kinda was Max with the retirement. Just as we pit, pretty much, his engine blows. Said it had enough, and we were able to take the lead after the massive undercut that they got in the first stint. Would Max have been able to win? Something we'll talk about later. So, Toto, your two images came with the subtitle text of Lewis was down in P5 in Q3, and the double podium with the highest Red Bull in 5th. So, yes, Q3, Lewis in P5, not the best idea, not the best lap time or position. Would have been very nice if it was P2 instead of Valtteri. However, it was fine, and he came back to get a P3 in the race and finish a double podium for us. And Red Bull absolutely nowhere. Max retiring and Checo down in P5. Now P5 is quite high. If everyone had finished, it would have been the second last of the top 3. However, not everyone in the top 6 did finish, and Lando put himself into the top 4. So, yeah, Checo, not doing a good race for him. And so we just capitalised and benefited from it. Very good job. Last but not least, Rosie, your two images. Max might have been able to win the race, and most people pit within the last 10 laps. So yeah, go on to the easiest one first. Most people pit within the last 10 laps. Yeah, very odd. The only logical person to make a pit stop in the last 10 laps would have been you, Bobbi, to get a fast lap. However, I mean, was it really worth doing that? No, that's why you didn't do it. However, the strategy from the other guys was really weird. We still don't even understand what they did on the other side of the garage there. But it helped us, gave us a large buffer, so it doesn't matter. However, what didn't have a large buffer was our gap to Max. In fact, it was the other way around. 7 seconds when we came in. Would Max have been able to go to the end? I'm not sure. He pitted very early for the first stint, and so if he didn't pit and went straight to the end, we would have had to have closed in about 30 seconds at least. Would we have been able to do that in 15 laps? Would have been had to have been 2 seconds a lap. Not sure. However, it was highly likely that Max was going to pit. Would we have then been able to have got him? Maybe. Especially with the undercut. Would we have gone 4 laps earlier than Max, and so 2 seconds a lap, get 8 seconds? Maybe not. However, it would have been close. It would have been close. So thankfully, Max did retire, and so we just had a straightforward win. We do have to have a look at the tyre wear. It was quite horrendous in that second stint. But we got onto the softs at the end, and it was kind of alright. You said it felt alright over radio, so yeah, the softs were alright, but the mediums in the middle, not so much. It was weird because the mediums at the beginning you said felt alright, didn't they, Bobbi? But it was just at the end. So yeah, as long as there's no questions, thank you for listening to the Monday morning review of the Singapore Grand Prix. We've got Japan next. Very looking forward to that one. Should win constructors there, and we can go one race away from winning drivers. So very good job this weekend. Go do it again in Japan, and yeah, it's looking good. So this is normal me again. Yeah, the championship permutations I'll just put in the comments from now. I won't read them all out. I'll probably block it in this one. No, I won't. I'll let it slide. However, I won't put the text on top because it actually takes quite a long time. So yeah, they'll be in the comments from now on. Anything else? No, I don't think so. It's almost 10 o'clock. That's not important. That's irrelevant. Yeah, I'll see you for Japan. Very looking forward to that. Very good chance of winning constructors. In fact, biggest chance of winning the constructors. I don't think it would take a lot for us to lose it there, but you never know. So I'll see you in Japan. Bye.